It's Yu-Gi-Oh time! Hello, welcome to another figure review. Today we're gonna have a look at the MegaHouse Artworks Monster Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Monsters Blue Ice White Dragon. Oh my god. Like, this is one of the most anticipated reviews of the year for me personally. I've been waiting on this one for so long. I'm such a big Yu-Gi-Oh! Fan, and Blue Eyes is obviously one of the most iconic monsters in the entire Yu-Gi-verse. To get a high-end statue of this one, it's like, I can't wait. I hope it's good. I hope it's good. Now, I'm fanboying, but as you know me, I am still 100% objective, and I wanna see the best come out of this figure, and I'm not giving it an auto pass because I like it. But let's talk about the box real quick, because I usually don't talk about the box, but there's a lot of detail on it. There's like the Kaiba Corp logo in the upper front, and like tons of detail on the side, and all you have this nice gold lettering which has some depth to it, and of course a picture of the figure in the back and some more KC lines. That's a weird thing to say, but you know, it's like kind of futuristic, kind of high-tech stuff. So great box, but let's have a look at this figure. And if it's figures or the original card game, we do talk a lot about Yu-Gi-Oh! Over here, so you should definitely subscribe. Alright, so I just took a ton of pictures of this thing, and that's legit happiness. So you know where this is going, but before I start gushing too much, let's have a look at the size of this guy. Now, taking him out of the box, I thought, I wish he was a little bit bigger. But that's, you know, the common complaint of like every little whiny man-child. So, up to the top of his wings, well, far beyond what my ruler can handle. That would be like 30 centimeters, that you can add like another 5 to that. So 35 centimeters really to the top of the wings, meaning that'd be like 14 inches. And he also does have a very impressive wingspan, as you can tell. Same thing, that would be like also, I would say 12, 13 inches, and a little over 30 centimeters. And I'm also gonna have a lot of fun with the size comparisons on this one, so let's have a look. Here's Jalter, the Bandai Salamander's Intercessor, Union Creative Blue Eyes Alternative White Dragon, Figma Seto Kaiba, Figma Dark Magician Girl, Union Creative Dark Side of Dimensions Black Magician, an actual Blue Eyes White Dragon card, and Dark Side. So, let's have a look at the mode, at the detail, and overall look of this guy. First and foremost, you might notice, well, does this look like the Blue Eyes White Dragon? It does have its own style. It looks a lot darker and it looks a lot more detailed. It's like, you know, a lot of fan artwork, whenever they try to make something look more realistic, that's kind of what I'm looking at here right now. And for the first thing is like, well, the head is pretty big. I don't have a problem with that, because I feel like they really focused on getting the look of the original card artwork and just ramping it up to 11 when it comes to the detail. Because like, over time, in the anime, in the manga, in the card artwork itself, the Blue Eyes White Dragon always changed a little bit. Now the mode itself is fantastic. There's like so much detail in there, and that's really what makes it a lot more special. And I love the pose also. Although it almost looks like he's smiling. It looks so happy, and it makes me happy. But then again, you know, he's just yelling, "Hear the mighty roar of the Blue Eyes White Dragon." So I love the pose. Also, there's some small crystals on the base of it, and you cannot take him off the base. He's connected to it hard to it. The only thing you can take off are the wings. They were in the packaging, because they are a lot more of a sturdier plastic, but very thin. So if anything of this figure is gonna break off, it's probably the wings, so I'd be careful with that. But everything else, the tail is somewhat rubbery. It is PVC, obviously, the most common used plastic, but there's nothing really that might break off, I feel like, except for the wings. So you have a little bit of lenience with it, and well, I mean, I don't challenge you to have him a shelf dive, but which I don't think he has. He's perfectly balanced also on the base. So other than that, let's go into a more detailed look on what we have on the figure. Like, look at his face sculpt. You can tell the point I was trying to bring across with the added detail you have in it. There's like tons of little wrinkles, and the individually painted and molded sculpted teeth all in there. Nothing's kind of bleeding together. You have a tongue sticking out, and you have the see-through plastic photo crystals on his face and on the shoulders, and also the claws all throughout it. And you have these beautiful wings with all little, I don't know if I call this veins. And it seems like there's like a layer of plastic over it. Like a very thin layer, I don't know if you can tell. Feels like this was molded on there and they made like then another layer of just see-through clear plastic, laid it over it and created a beautiful effect for these things. It's just, it's actually mind-blowing. Going to the back, he's also very spiky, so be careful with that. There's some more detail in the back of the wings. And the beautiful tail takes a nice spin, like really rolls around the entire pose. Makes it look very dynamic. And the arms stretched out with the big claws on the bottom. And that's the pose. And yeah, the paint. Oh, whew. You know how often I talk about figures when they don't have paint and I say like, well, it could have been elevated so much more. This is the definition of elevating it so much more by adding the right amount of paint. First of all, I don't know how well you can see it on the camera, but he is quite sparkly. Not too much, and that's the thing about this figure. I think it's just the right amount of shading and detail that they pushed into this guy without making it overblown, and also it's not random, it's very consistent. You have like the darker, somewhat blue silverish lines going on throughout it, especially on the tips on the side over here. And I think the entire figure was just casted in white plastic. So you have that peeking out, but I think like there's probably also a layer of like just a metallic white under it. And then you have a wash for like a lot of the darker spots. Around his eyes also, look at this blue. It really pops, it is metallic, the light radiating off of it, I love it. Have a purple tongue in there, and the teeth, they're not completely white, but I don't think they should be. Makes it look a little bit more brutal. And of course, the see-through crystals sticking out. It really just like adds another layer on top of everything else. And also, it is clean. It doesn't go over the line. I don't have any weird black spots in the neck because of all the brush, the dry wash they did in the neck area, and also like a lot of like the darker parts in the entire body. It's like, it's just beautiful. I love it. I can't say anything else about it. I don't have any trouble with it. There's also like I'm saying, it's consistent. You have the white in the middle and like the silverish blue on the sides, which goes on throughout all of the body and continues on through the tail. There's like different layers of it. Like there's like a little bit more of a darker tone, and this one's more blue and then goes over into the white, and then the spikes. Top of the spikes go over in the white again. It's just like, sheesh, there's so much going on. Same with the wings. Have like more of a silver effect in the wings itself, and then the top parts are more white, and then you have some blue, small blue spots all throughout it with the detail and the paint, and just it's such an impressive piece. I cannot stop gushing about it, and I know at this point you might get a little sick about it, but like this, I don't know when the last time was I had something nice and detailed in my hands. There's a lot more of the darker wash in the claws as well, and going down to his big muscle thighs. Like actually, like look at the muscle work over there, and the claws with the dark gray going into a lot of a brighter gray, and the crystals with the purple, which I don't know what the idea of the crystal is. Could have done just like a mountain or whatever, or the moon. There's like Duel Links has like animation where Blue Eyes lands on the moon. I don't know why that's a thing, but yeah, that's about all I have to say about this. It has also a black base, which is just black and a little bit shiny. So there you go. Final thoughts for this Blue Eyes masterpiece. And I just, I straight up call it a masterpiece. Now, the first thing I want to say I haven't mentioned in this entire review, this figure's expensive. So, depending on where I live, I say average, this will set you back around $200. And that's really the only downside I can say, but I think it's worth it. It's just like, it looks fantastic. It captures the look of the Blue Eyes, adds a lot to it, and they kind of make a little bit of their own spin, in my opinion, but still, the paint is exquisite. The mold is awesome. The plastic used is of high quality. It's not brittle, it's not gonna break, it's not gonna fall apart. It does hold the pose look great. And there's just so much good to talk about this. It also scales well, I feel like, with a lot of like Figma, Yu-Gi-Oh characters and whatnot. It's a great display with other figures, and I do recommend it. Obviously, as I mentioned earlier in the review, First World Figures is also doing a version, which I don't know yet. I might pick that up as well. That would be the only other option you have right now if you want to have a highly detailed Blue Eyes statue. But as for now, this guy has completely won me over. I love him, and I do recommend him. That's gonna do it, guys. As usual, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget, if you enjoyed this review, hit it up with a like and subscribe to the channel so you can stay tuned for more figure reviews, card game stuff, and whatever Blue Eyes White Dragon wants.